Hey everyone, it's Two Noobs Talking coming at you once again with episode number 18 with my friend John Tracy. I'm Matt Craig, and John, I got to give you some props, bud. This week has been so surreal uh, for you personally because I think you've done something that I wish I could do, and maybe I will down the road. Who knows?
Hoping so.
You had one of your articles censored on Facebook. So I want to give you, first of all, congratulations on doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
I strive for Zuckerberg to hate me.
yeah. Well, when you look like
I really
Beaker,
do.
when you look like Beaker, the Muppet Show, I mean, come on. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
exactly. There's been so many. Me and my wife have been laughing about it the whole time. Like, especially me, really. Like,
Yeah.
I,
I'm just minding my own business over here,
I
right?
know. I read a lot. Like, I'm not I'm not really just throwing stuff out. Like, I'm not like haphazardly throwing posts up. Like, oh, this will be interesting. So let me just tell the quick story because the one thing I did say on media, because I was very, very mad when it happened. And I totally was, Matt knew 100 before he saw the one Facebook post. And he was like, so we're touching on that, right?
Answer yes.
Yes. So I shared this video with Pitbull, the rapper or musician, whatever you want to call him. I don't even know. I don't even listen to the dude's music, but I watched a video where he made sense. So I was like, hey, the world might want to pay attention to him talking about communism from his homeland and talking about the United States and seeing some similarities with cancel culture and the political realm and everything that we talk about on the show. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty interesting take.
I would say.
Not Bible, but take. So I shared it. So it lasted a day. I clicked on Facebook. I came home from work. I clicked on Facebook. I was sitting down talking to my wife, and I was like,
kind of minding your own business.
I bleeping got I got censored on Facebook. I didn't even know what I got censored for.
I was just
I
going to
watched
say.
the video again.
Yeah.
And then threw a child hissy fit after that. Because after I listened to the video again, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I watched the thing like 12 times. And so what I got censored for was that Facebook claims that Pitbull said that it was a pandemic. Neither I, Pitbull, or anybody I know, winky face, is saying it's a pandemic.
Yeah. COVID.
I mean, I do have friends that do say that.
Yeah.
The post had nothing to do with that. So I'm going to lead into the screenshot of what they were saying was the pandemic, was there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with COVID-19.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Winky face again.
Yeah.
So Johns Hopkins University.
World-renowned Johns Hopkins University, we should mind. Yeah.
Yes. And the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation hosted a pandemic exercise in 19. That's what Pitbull was talking about.
Key phrase, hosting a pandemic exercise. We should emphasize that, John, because that's so important. This is not a conspiracy theory of it being a pandemic. This was an actual event that took place in October of last year at Johns Hopkins.
Just simply Google event 201.
Yep.
We have plenty of stuff for you here. So we're done with that. We just want, like, it was an actual event.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that the event happened. I'm sorry that Pitbull talked about it. I'm sorry that Pitbull talked about communism. I'm sorry I shared it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to bow to the throne of Beaker. Like, bro, I did enough research before I shared it. Like, maybe we need to start fact-checking fact checkers.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got it wrong there. You really did. You got it wrong. And I would love to argue with anybody that thinks they got it right.
Yeah, big time.
Because they got it wrong. Big
time. Yeah.
And just go on my page, do the CY thing, watch the video, Trust me. And Two Noobs will be putting the same video out so they can censor it again after this episode. And this is going on Facebook because I got censored. And this is just going to get shared over and over again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
until you get
exactly.
beaten into your thick skulls that this was not a pandemic, but an actual event that took place.
Yes. So please just understand, I'm a petulant child when things like this happen, and I will react accordingly. I will throw my 2-year-old temper tantrum over and over again until I feel satisfied enough that I pissed everybody off.
Let's just say that you and I've had some really good talks. Yeah, exactly. You and I had some good
video now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go ahead and I'll play this because I think this is so important. Event 201, as John mentioned, I didn't realize anything of this was happening until John shared this with me. And, it's about preparedness during a pandemic, which I think we will touch on after this video is played. So let's just dive right in to Event 201 for the first couple of minutes. And again, we'll link to this video in our show notes.
Mm-hmm. It's a long video, so you guys can watch it.
Yep.
I watched it a couple times. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Bill Gates putting out for the graphics, too. Using all his money.
It began in healthy-looking pigs, months, perhaps years ago. A new coronavirus spread silently within herds. Gradually, farmers started getting sick. Infected people got a respiratory illness with symptoms ranging from mild flu-like signs to severe pneumonia. The sickest required intensive care. Many died. Experts agree, unless it is quickly controlled, it could lead to a severe pandemic, an outbreak that circles the globe and affects people everywhere.
The mission of the Pandemic Emergency Board is to provide recommendations to deal with the major global challenges arising in response to an unfolding pandemic. The board is comprised of highly experienced leaders from business, public health, and civil society.
We could be looking at double the number of cases in 1 week and 16 times as many in a month if we are not able to stop the spread. That would be on the order of 500,000 cases, and it would continue to rise exponentially. In 3 months, we could be approaching 10 million cases.
We're at the start of what's looking like.
I mean, now, I want to be very clear when we're playing this. That video you just saw, and for the audio listeners, did not take place, in our history. That was an experiment. I liken this, John, to like a Division 2. If anyone has played the Division 2, a video game, Ubisoft, it's on PS4, Xbox One, whatever the case may be. That's a result of a faux pandemic. Basically, there's this virus that goes around and gets spread all over the place. That was a great example of Event 201, basically theorizing what would happen if a coronavirus, happened through pigs and then all of a sudden it gets spread. What does society do to resolve it?
Yes.
Memo to Facebook: when you try and fact check something, make sure that you fact check it.
Yeah, like
because you can't fact check. You obviously cannot fact check stuff. This is what drives me just so. I mean, it makes me laugh on one side of the coin. The other side of me just is like, you're so incompetent. You don't know what's going on.
It also makes me infuriated because, like, I get that there are people out there, and I understand why fact checkers start it, because people would just totally. I mean, look at the moron that put Gorilla Glue in her hair and now is suing.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, there's dumb people out there. I get that.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand why you might need to fact check on Facebook. They're getting a little bit too, like Pitbull said, communist with what they're fact checking, because they're like, oh, well, we don't want you to have any thought. And and we knew this in the beginning of, and we have a couple things we're going to run on that. I'm going to share this one last article real quick before we get into our conversation about this.
Yeah.
Matt, please
take
it away.
Yeah, so this is a result of Event 201 that was hosted again by Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, and Katie Pierce writes this article dated November 6th of 2019, just a few months before the actual COVID-19 pandemic actually took off.
Mhm.
And I love these sentences. And I'm just going to read like the first few sentences here. Quote, back in 2001, it was a smallpox outbreak set off by terrorists in U.S. shopping malls. This fall, it was a SARS-like virus germinating quietly among pig farms in Brazil before spreading to every country in the world. With each fictional, I'm emphasizing that for Facebook, with each fictional pandemic, Johns Hopkins experts have designed, the takeaway lesson is the same. We are nowhere near prepared, end quote. Now, I mean, John, we're living that right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
You know, we're living that. And especially like, I look at it like in my business, my line of work, I work for an educational software company. The school districts across the country were completely flat-footed with this pandemic. There was no such thing as a contingency plan. They had no idea what they were going to do. None.
Literally, one of my children's and a faithful listener of Two Noobs Talking is not even. They don't even have a plan for him to go back to school. They have.
I mean, that's stunning.
They're so feared up, and so they're like they don't have a plan.
And too. And here's the thing: my brother-in-law teaches up in Bucks County, in a big district up there. They have not had one case of COVID in their school district, not one.
Crazy.
And it's like, well, how is that even possible? So, well, one thing, they have reduced the amount of students that have come in. They've allowed for flexibility, but most students do come in. Most do wear masks, whatever the case may be. They're taking preventative measures, but they haven't had an outbreak at that district.
They probably don't go to school if they're sick, which is we need to. That's another thing. Like
you think
when we get into our we should definitely bring this. We might bring this together with the exact same thing we're talking about. This is cancel culture, which you're going to talk about very, very, very freely in a couple moments. And that's kind of what it is. It's nobody is willing to think anymore.
Yeah.
They're reacting.
Yeah.
And that's what these school districts are doing. The ones that aren't getting back to school, like you literally had to pull teeth to get people to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the media? Is that it's I think it's a whole
combination. I think it's probably media combination with teachers unions and all kinds of things. Well, you have to make sure it's safe and okay, whatever. But it's like
we're all for the safety of the children and the people, but
of course
safety gets, and I'm in a field where safety is a thing.
Oh
yeah, safety can get out of hand.
Yeah,
at times people get completely over safe.
Oh yeah,
and then they exhaust themselves to be over safe.
Yeah,
and then they get less work done.
Yeah, I think another point too that I would bring up is I get the fact that people want to be safe from a virus. I get that.
Totally.
But the idea that you've got to be like a germaphobe is another thing. And a germaphobe that is like ramped up to the ninth power. Now, again, germaphobes, I'm not against them. Don't get me wrong.
No, they're actually fun people because they have clean houses.
Can't ask for anything better than that. But what I'm saying is the heightened fear on top of it is really accelerating everything. And it's like, I have that discussions with friends, coworkers, whatever the case may be. They don't know what to do. And it's like, dude, you just have to just remember to breathe, remember to relax. You're going to be okay. Just take those measures as you see fit. You know, if you come down.
That scares me the most about everything. Just like people's mental health through this thing. It scares me because it's damaging.
Big time.
And
yeah,
you know, we should have been more prepared.
Oh, very much so.
Any which way you look at it.
This is the fault of governments
being prepared, like literally not being prepared.
Not having, I mean, you remember at the early days of this, John, and N95 masks, and the fact that they were short. And, you know, it was just like, you had all this hubbub of, oh my God, the N95 masks, we got to have this, we got to have that. And the demand was so outrageously high.
And a side note, Carlin joked about this in the 80s.
Yeah.
With the wash your hands culture and all the Clorox sprays. He joked about it all the time. He's like, you know what? A virus is going to come along and it's not going to be nice to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
George Carlin was great for his time. Oh my God. He was a great comic.
Oh my God, he'd been laughing at everybody.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
He could have did 3 hours on people with helmets and 17 masks or whatever they're doing now. I'm not even paying attention to it.
Let me just say one thing before we move on, John, because this is great. I mean, we talk about Carlin and everything. There's one of my sister, it works downtown in the city of Philly, and she works for the Philly Ballet, and one of her coworkers is wearing 2 masks and a face shield.
Wow.
And it's like, I'm not so sure you really want that. What kind of extra layer of protection do you want? Do you want like 10? Why 2? Why not go 10?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, how far does this go? That's the thing.
That's the funny thing. Like, you really got to think about like the level. Like, I get like if you're afraid, wear a mask.
Yeah,
but
and there's nothing wrong with that. But the overabundance is the problem.
When you over that, let's bring a little bit back in. Should we have worn 2 cups when we were playing hockey? No, seriously, I'm trying.
I don't think so. No,
a little bit, right? So we needed 2. We needed 2 shin pads.
Yeah.
We needed 2 shoulder pads. We needed to put 2 helmets on.
Yeah.
Right.
At what point is this going to get? Yeah.
That's the theory that I'm trying to break because it's nonsensical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's nonsensical.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Nonsensical behavior of fear, and that's not okay. That's
not okay.
Like, the media needs to be turned off. If you are that afraid of this,
oh yeah,
the media, like, turn your media off right now. You turn your cell phone off.
Like,
don't even watch us.
Don't even.
If you're that afraid.
Well, watch us, but
watch us, but not watch us because you don't have a phone. Like,
yeah,
I get like, but if you're like I was, and I'm gonna go to this screenshot right now. We were very, very worried in the beginning.
Oh
They were telling us this.
WHO says coronavirus death rate is 3.4% globally, higher than previously thought. Published Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020.
Just so this is what we were told initially.
Yeah.
And I wanted to touch on this, talking about the whole thing with the pit bull, and I'm pulling punches with this coronavirus thing. We were told that.
Based off of an IHME University of Washington prediction that was way off. Way off. Way off. I'll say it 3 times. I'll say it 4th time. Way off.
You keep saying way off. Matt learned that from me.
It was wrong. Yeah. It was totally wrong.
Yes.
You know?
I'm just freezing this up here for a minute because, like, literally that's what we were told.
That's what we were told.
This is not where we're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think part of it was like, okay, now
about it either.
Do we let me just ask you this, John. Benefit of the doubt, right? Novel virus.
Let me ask you this with the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Let's talk about money for a minute. Because you handle money in a company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3.4%.
Not a whole heck of a lot.
0.1%.
Infinitely less.
If you project it, the company losing 3.4%, and they actually lost 0.1%, you'd probably be in an office somewhere explaining how you came up with that, correct?
I would think so, and I would probably be put into a mental institution as well.
Same thing with my company.
Yeah.
If my projection of something is off that far, they probably wouldn't trust me as much as they do.
Yeah. You always want to budget for a worst case scenario, but you don't bank on the worst case scenario.
And that's exactly what that was. And the media ran with that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my problem with it. Because what they did is, So what they did is normal. If you look at that article again, please check it out in the show notes. If you look at the article, they started at 2%.
Yeah.
That's actually legit.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody had a problem with that. That's MERS, SARS, whatever.
Swine flu, whatever you want to
Swine
throw
flu,
in
yeah,
there.
like that. Literally, that 2% was that.
Mhm.
That was that home run of the viruses that we've gotten in this country.
Oh yeah.
2% was money, right?
Mhm.
Nobody was afraid. Nobody was wearing masks. Nothing happened. Then
Mhm.
these weirdos were like 3.4.
Yeah. All based off of an estimate.
Exactly.
That-
And if you got
that-
10,
Spoiler alert, was way off.
and if you
It's
got
way
10 million,
off.
3.4 of 10 million is a ton.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would scare anybody.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the kind of stuff that the media was putting out. That's what I just want to get into. I understand why Pitbull was coming out and saying stuff
Yeah.
because he was a little mad about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said
The-
some other things that could also, might be, make some liberals mad. But it was a great conversation. He talked about communism. He
Mhm.
talked about the coronavirus.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you for,
Yeah.
your book for letting me put that out there.
It's really amazing. And this kind of leads into like the discussion about cancel culture, John, because I think,
Yes.
it was a variance of it. It wasn't exactly like, okay, you're completely off Facebook.
I'm not.
But
canceled.
we've seen this like conservative,
behavior.
the behavior has just been unbelievable. It's like the idea, like in the public square, that people can make any argument and they have the right to defend that argument.
No, absolutely.
If they disagree with that argument, we're going to cancel you. Or worse, like I've seen this happen too on the right, where they will boycott anything that's on the left. Like if they find out that if like
it's so childish too.
it's so
I want to
thank
bring
you.
I absolutely want to bring that up. Like what the left is doing is very childish, and what the right is doing very childish. Because here's the thing, and I'm gonna hum on Bongino a little bit.
Yep.
On this too, because what he does as a rightist, which it drives me nuts with him.
Mhm.
He's like, oh well, we just boycott. If you
How does that solve a problem?
That's okay. I have 2 kids. Well, I have more than 2 kids, but younger years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had 2 kids. They were 3.5 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch them argue. You
Yeah.
know what they look like? The media. When they were 4 and 1.5.
Yeah.
That's my block. That's not your block. I'm going to take all your blocks.
Yeah.
You can't have that. I'm going to stick you in here.
Yeah.
It's so childish.
So
and
childish.
So ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. And I listen to Bongino, and I also listen to Jon Stewart. I listen to Colbert. I try to stay in the middle, left, right, center. By the way, if you really want a podcast that I would love to be like, left, right, center, just to give them a plug, because they're awesome. Because they're everywhere. And I listen to Ben Shapiro. I disagree with about 97% of things that Ben Shapiro says, but I like his conviction because he actually says some smart things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I follow Tim Pool. Tim Pool is very center. I like the stuff he says. I love what Joe Rogan says. I also listen to Senator Ted Cruz's podcast, which will get me canceled on that side, but he's a constitutionalist and I like him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not many people, and honestly, why I stand out here and I say all this, it's because I could give a crap again cancel culture.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the truth the way I'm looking for the truth, and I don't actually care what people think. You're not going to cancel me in that way because I'm going to get my informed opinions from my places that I'm going to get. I'm get it from all over. I'm not going to sit here and give you a right. I'm not going to sit here and be a leftist.
Yeah.
If I lean left, I lean right sometimes. Sometimes I lean dead center. Sometimes I'm completely the worst human being ever because I disagree with everything the media feeds me. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like, you don't give your business to anybody that essentially, like, if you disagree with somebody, that's okay. You can live your life in that disagreement. That doesn't mean you hold a grudge against that person because you disagree with them.
Let me make a simple point that's very simple. I shop at Target.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with every business practice that
Target does.
The
Mhm.
people that put money in the Target, I disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what?
In a
private
pinch.
goods.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a stance
Yeah.
on Target.
Yeah. I could say the same thing about Starbucks. I could say the same thing about Starbucks.
Completely disagree, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like their latte.
I kind of like their mocha, that kind of deal. And it's like, I'll treat myself to that.
I think Walmart is a total slave labor place,
Mm-hmm.
but they got cheap towels. When elitists control people,
yeah,
they have to go where they have to go to get it.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I think with the cancel culture, going back to what Pitbull was saying in the whole grand scheme of things about the communism,
mm-hmm.
when you're pressed and you're pushed, you've got nowhere to go.
You got nowhere to go.
And that's where the cancel culture comes in. I think that's your huge point of, because when we were talking about this, I think I completely agree with your cancel culture argument, because what I'm talking about, when you're getting pressed and pushed, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just literally look at Hitler.
Oh yeah.
That's how it was done.
Absolutely.
Read any of the communist manifestos. It was literally done that way. It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, at a lower level,
mm-hmm.
but it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a bit the media is canceling the media, which is funny. They're not actually canceling people at this point.
I think they're canceling each other out, to be perfectly honest with you. I think they can. Yeah.
Cancel the American people out? Probably.
Well, I don't know if they're canceling the American. I'm not so sure they're canceling the American people out. I think they're canceling themselves out.
Yeah, that's what I think, because I think the media is canceling the celebrities, and the celebrities are canceling the media. And then the businesses, people are absolutely with the whole rise of the Karens and the Kens.
Yeah.
That's a cancellation.
That's a cancellation. Yeah.
And I bet anybody that is friends or ever broken bread with me and Matt, anybody that had broken bread with me and Matt, understand that the Kens and the Karens are ridiculous.
That might be that's an interesting point you bring up, John, because I remember, I think it was about the summer months during the pandemic, and there was this woman that was walking around in Central Park, and there's this African-American guy that was walking around, and I guess there was they got into a little bit of a spat, and he's sitting there video recording her. They got into a huge argument over, I think it was something really small, like you can't walk your dog in this area of Central Park. And she was like, oh yeah? Yeah. And it's they got into a heated argument over that. And he ended up daring her to call the police.
Well,
she ends up calling the police, making up an entire story of this guy's raping her, and all that kind of stuff. And it turned out not to be true. But it's her whole thing just went she's out walking her dog or whatever the case, went on the wrong side of the path, and then all of a sudden straight downhill.
But you can't okay, let's go back to elementary school, since we had to, with the coronavirus pandemic, we had to learn how to wash our hands again. Let's go back to elementary school.
That's scary, by the way, but anyway, go on.
What happens is hey, you can't walk your dog here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Where can I? Oh, ma'am, it's right over there. Oh, not a problem. Thank you, sir. Moving on. Where did
that go?
Fairy tale land to people, but that's not. When I make a mistake in life,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't go, oh, I want to fight. What I do is I'm like, okay, well, what did I do? What did I do wrong?
Or the one,
successful marriage, because when something goes wrong, it's hey, can we talk about it? Okay, what was this? What was that? I'm sorry, that was my mistake. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I accept your apology. Then you move on. Where did we lose that in society?
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to ask questions. Yeah.
So it's okay to be, you know what? Sometimes Matt tells me not to say this all the time when we're doing pre-production. Sometimes I'm dumb as a stick. And I apologize for it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what Matt said to me earlier?
You
Dude, you
don't have to
need
apologize.
for anything.
Exactly. Well,
But
the one thing that also got me too, John, was like, you think about this. A woman walks into a supermarket without a mask on in New York. And instead of someone giving her or offering her a mask, what are you doing in here without a mask on? Don't you supposed to know you're supposed to wear a mask? And I'm like, no one ever thought of giving her an extra mask. It never dawned on these people. They'd rather get her out of the building.
Yeah,
We have to think about others before ourselves.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And
Sorry for
my
being
question-
preachy.
Yeah, no, totally love it. Because I'm gonna be preachy with this one. Also, like, why? Like I've seen people in my local store without a mask.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Like,
I'm not going to raise a stink over that. Yeah.
because to be honest with you, if I'm wearing one, why do I care if he's wearing one?
Right.
I don't want to wear one.
Yeah.
And I
Why
don't want anybody
would I
running up on
raise
me.
a stink?
Exactly. There's no point to.
Oh, right. Unless you just want to be a complete idiot and just want to raise a stink up.
I think that's kind of where it's going. Like, but that's not an individual person. We're not calling individual people out. This is a societal thing. We said this on podcasts before.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pure societal thing. It's almost like we're conditioned to yell at people.
Subtly. Yeah.
It's so weird.
It really is, because it's like, when you stop to think about it.
A long period of time. Sorry to talk over you, but
No, yeah, that's okay.
For a long period of time. It's just been this gradual, and what we hope with this podcast is to bring these things out.
Yeah.
And
kind of present it and really present an alternative view by saying, hey, look, stop thinking of your own self.
Yeah.
And really start thinking about, like, if you see someone that's, they may have forgotten the damn mask.
And
the first instinct shouldn't be, you idiot, how can you not wear that mask? But the instinct should be, here, take mine.
And then the second thing should be, if that person is like, hey, I don't want to wear a mask because I don't believe in any of this, maybe you can learn why they don't believe in it instead of just kicking them to the curb.
I've got a medical condition. I can't wear a mask because of a medical condition. Okay, that makes total sense. Like, don't just throw them out on the street and say, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense.
That's a huge problem with society, because you're going to waste people, and you're going to run out of people to waste, and you're going to waste each other.
Well, and that goes back to what we were saying before too, John, with the mental health being so bad. This is a contributing factor to it. Yeah.
And the fear.
And the fear on top of that.
I can see cancel culture is very easy to understand.
Oh, yeah.
But I just want to, I want to be a person, and I'm not trying to force this on anybody, but what I focus on day to day is I want to be a person that helps and not hurts.
Yeah.
I literally think of that every day, and I'm not trying to be preachy about it. That's just how I want to live my life. I want to help and not hurt.
Yeah. If that's not your number one goal, I don't know what is. Yeah.
Exactly. And I know there's a lot of people out there. I know I a ton of friends. The reason this thing started, because I started to think that way. I have a ton of friends, and they're all really nice people. Some are anxietied up, some are not.
Am I one of those people?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Look at Matt fishing for a compliment. No,
I always try to.
I have friends that are anxietied up about it. I have friends that are not anxietied up about it.
Yeah.
I have friends that just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got to wear a mask. Okay,
like,
whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Do what you
know
can.
what I mean? Like, all across, like, I've had so many coronavirus conversations with my friends. Literally, though, I've not been canceled by one of them.
Yeah.
And I haven't canceled any of them.
Yeah.
I literally only had to cancel one friend, and it had nothing to do with coronavirus.
Yeah.
It was caused coronavirus, but it was just the manner in which he approached.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't be friends with you. Sorry.
Let me throw this at you too, John, because I know we didn't discuss this in pre-production, but I don't know if this is something generational, but I've heard it so many times said before with texting and Facebook. It's like you can see the emotion. And part of me is like, I get a little bit of that, but the other part, the other part of me, 75 to 80% of me is like, what are you kidding? Like, it's just words on a screen. It doesn't matter. at the end of the day. It's just words on a screen. How could you possibly read
can I
someone's
add-
emotion
yeah.
through the through? So
Can
I
I
wanted to
add
kind of get your thoughts on it, because I'm just sitting there kind of going like,
I
I don't
only
know
have-
if it's a generational thing. I don't get it.
No, I have a only really very simple thought, and this actually happened to me years ago.
Hmm.
Years ago, I was having a conversation with a great human being that is extremely smart, very important person in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Having a conversation about texting, emailing. This was work related. I was struggling in life with my own emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew I was, and I was refusing to do anything about it. So my life was spiraling.
Mm-hmm.
And the people, if they're watching this, they know who they are. Like
Mhm.
literally, my life was spiraling in this same spiral. And this friend of mine, we went out, had a burger,
Yep.
had a beer, and we were talking. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I can't figure out why I can't get it right.
Mm.
And A, my problem was that I was trying to get it right.
Yeah.
And B, the problem is I was taking my emotions that I didn't like myself
Mm-hmm.
and projecting it into the people that were texting me. So maybe I wasn't doing the right thing at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
I was literally making everything a catastrophe
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And then if I messed up, I turned that mess up into the world's worst thing.
Yeah.
And I did it over and over again until
Mhm.
this person like pointed out, and I was like, oh wow, that's dumb. Like I'm literally okay, so I'm taking my emotion that I'm not in therapy for, trying to figure out my emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm not playing with my emotions well.
Yeah.
So my emotions are running crazy, and then
Mm.
I'm allowing them to affect the relationships because I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
It literally still happens to this day, but such on a minor level.
Yeah.
My boss texted me like a couple weeks ago,
Yep.
hey, I need to talk to you. For about 35 seconds, and I told him this as soon as we talked on the phone. For 35 seconds, I ran in a loop of, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Like,
Yeah.
and there was literally nothing that we needed to talk about.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
everything was fine. Like, we were good. He
Yeah.
wanted, he was doing what good bosses do. He was getting an opinion about a situation. Like,
Mhm.
and we bounce things off to each other all the time. And I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
if I text him, hey, I need to talk, he doesn't freak out.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
it's funny that happened too, that you brought that up, because there were two moments like I've learned, but I think that's what happens with people.
Oh, I think so too.
I
Yeah.
think it's catastrophizing it really quickly.
Yeah. I think
And
that's
it might be inner and not outer, or
Yeah.
it could be outer and not inner. But
that may just be a case of just like that could be. Yeah, and could it be all in the media, what they see and all what they
it
watch
could
and
just-
read?
it just could
Possibly.
be better communication with yourself and better
Yeah.
communication with your friends. And
I
your
can tell
family.
you this too, like even in business, I'm glad you shared that, John. I can tell you for me, I've struggled really writing emails. It was really interesting. Like I had a great conversation because I communicate by email all the time, right? At work.
I live in your world.
Oh yeah.
I can speak it.
And
I
so when
can't write
you're
it.
trying to communicate a thought to somebody, you
Mhm.
have to be able to say, okay. And I remember having this kind of a conversation early on in my career at the company I currently work for. Early on, it was really, really rough, very difficult job, a lot of challenges, a lot of errors that were happening. It was very, very frustrating. And so you're kind of just building this up. All the
Yeah.
frustration is being built up inside of you, and there's no way to release it. And the temptation is, well, I'm going to release this frustration out on my coworkers. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good, much less yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all.
Yeah. And so like I had to be kind of talked off the ledge a little bit. I kind of like, it wasn't negative, wasn't horrible, but it was something where it was like, hey, look, listen, you're really good. There are
Handle
points
it
of
this way,
light
not
in
this
you.
way. Yeah.
We're noticing this about you. And I'm like, you get that kind of a conversation. You're like, whoa, you just have to take a step back and you go like, that's unbelievable. It's great when you get that advice and then you're able to process it and internalize it. And then it's like you're thinking about somebody else's, how are they feeling and how are they, rather than making it all about you.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
absolutely. It's crazy how that, and I wish younger in my career that I would have been,
Oh, me too.
I would have been way more accepting of that conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
that's so I think that's for everything though, like relationships. Absolutely. We were talking about that earlier with relationships, just single to married, like how there's so many different, I literally said this to Matt, and since it's Valentine's Day, I'll just throw my wife a plug. Like, if I wasn't married to my wife, I wouldn't be married.
Exactly.
Married my wife because I wanted to be married.
Yeah.
Like, I married my wife who's like, you can't be away from me.
Yeah.
Like, you make me a better person.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. There's my little Valentine's Day thing. I threw it out
There you go. Throw
since
that
I'm
in
recording on Valentine's Day while she's sitting there playing on her phone
there.
and leaving me alone.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, but that I think that goes. If you have, this is where cancel culture comes in. I think people that actively are involved in cancel culture, but I don't actually think it's many people that I know.
I would agree.
I think it's more like a media run. I think there are people out there, but I think they're very few and far between.
I would agree. Yeah.
I don't think people are running around trying to cancel everything.
I would hope not. You certainly see it a lot on Twitter. You certainly see it a lot.
But I think that's where, like, it's centralized brainwashing control. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Parler, everything that we're on is total brainwashing for you to watch Two Noobs Talking.
Exactly.
Tweet stuff out because we want you to watch us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's brainwashing. You get inundated. Why do you think we have a logo with our face on it that says Two Noobs Talking with the world around us? We're trying to inundate you to watch us because we want to be watched, because we'd love to be monetized by somebody. We'd love our little goal to take off. We would love it. I'd be happy.
This is a hobby that I would love to get. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it'd be nice. At the end of the day,
like, I would love to do.
And not only we have to shout this out too, John. Not only are we hitting the U.S., we're hitting Brazil, for crying out loud. So I mean, hey, if we can go global, let's go global, man. Let's do it.
We've been throwing this out. Whoever downloaded our podcast audio, it's TwoNoobstalking@gmail.com.
There you go.
I will literally buy one t-shirt, put our logo on it, and send it to you. Just because I love looking at our demographics, and it just Brazil
9
downloads. It makes me laugh every time.
It's great.
My voice could even be heard outside the country.
That's just awesome.
So please, TwoNoobstalking@gmail.com. Everybody, send us.
Let's throw that down here in the video.
Totally. It's right there.
Yeah.
Please, like, even reach out. Like, if you got show ideas, like, if you like us, please. This is more of a casual episode, kind of like a get to know us kind of rub.
Which is great
because we got jokes too. So
and why don't we let's transition to a joke here because we got to laugh it up. I mean.
Great talk about cancel culture, because I now want to cancel this person. And let's start with.
I don't know. You know what, John? I don't know about you. I don't know about you though. I may have to circle back with you on that because
absolutely. But let's cancel Cuomo.
Before we.
Yeah, please. We definitely talk about this because Cuomo, the Hodge twins did a great cut earlier today where they were mispronouncing his name. It made me laugh so hard.
Oh man.
So
I'll tell you. So New York and New York State in and of itself are ghouls. Their entire state government are ghoulish. But I mean, the fact that one of his aides openly admitted, hey, we cooked the books essentially. There were way more deaths in the nursing homes due to COVID than what we originally reported.
Which you can go back to, I don't know what episode it was, like 11, 12. One of those episodes, we pointed that out. Then just a little rub on us because we're smart.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. I just like to say it.
But I mean,
his death toll goes up big time, and it just shows we've been calling him out from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just like Joe Biden. And we'll touch on that.
Governor
too.
Wolf too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tom Wolf.
Governor Wolf, and I hear those numbers are going to rise a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's some articles that'll be in the show notes. We didn't really want to inundate you with show notes. Please check them out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's pretty damning. I mean, it's like
it's extremely damning. He and his administration lied.
Yeah, flat out.
He definitely needs to go to jail or be canceled. To be honest. Like, that's maybe where the cancel culture.
Honestly, I would prefer jail time, to be perfectly honest. I'll just throw it out there.
No, it's and if
I mean, how do you do that? How do you, in one point, you're governor for the entire state? How do you, with a straight face?
You don't,
right? Like
and then comes on TV, accepts an Emmy, writes a book about it.
Yeah, it's just trash.
Like that's like the biggest scumball thing ever. That'd be like literally.
Yeah, and he's a bully. He's a big bully, and I hate bullies, John. I hate them. I hate bullies.
It's the worst way to act in life.
Yeah.
Like you wrote a book about how great you were at the pandemic, and then at the end of the pandemic, it comes out that you lied.
Yeah.
About being great at the pandemic, and you made money off of it and just killed people.
Yeah.
And let me just throw another one out. If you haven't seen the story yet, it'll be in the show notes as soon as I find it, because it literally clipped as soon as I came on. So apparently in Pennsylvania, the governor's assistant removed her mother from a nursing home.
Yeah.
Coronavirus pandemic.
Yeah.
And then put in the order for that to happen.
Absolutely.
So she removed her mom from it and then killed other people's moms.
Mm-hmm.
She should go to jail.
Absolutely. Well, she's in the Biden administration, or he's in the Biden administration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She totally is in the Biden administration. So before we get to our funny stuff, we need to get a quick rub here. So I wake up this morning early, and Dan Bongino comes off my Facebook. I'm a little mad about it. So Bongino's going to get a little mad about it. Bongino stole our stuff.
Yeah. Come on, Dan.
I'm not going to play it. I feel
it's like, Dan, come on.
I understand it, Dan. You got millions and millions of followers. I get it, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you stole episode
man.
1 of Two Noobs Talking.
Yeah, come on, man. I'm going to throw us some love over here.
Yeah, you did.
Ask permission.
No. We found it on YouTube first.
It was the premiere channel, for crying out loud. Our premiere episode, our number 1 episode. We had this going, and thanks for coming to the party, pal.
Yeah, Dan, man. I thought we were broadcasters.
I thought we were friends, man. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway,
I totally
that's out of the way.
Listen to him too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Now that's out of the way, John. How about we laugh a little bit?
Let's have more fun.
Yeah, let's have some more fun. Let's circle back, shall we? I think that's probably more important.
Dude, this video, please. Oh my God.
I think it's just so important. We have to circle back, John.
Used at vaccination centers when they get stood up across the country. Does the White House support that request?
I did ask our team about this. You or someone else may have asked about this the other day, and I think I have something on it here. One moment. Thanks for your patience. Lots to say about COVID, no doubt about it. So, let's see. Let me talk to our team about it.
John.
Yeah.
John. Just
play the other video before we talk.
We're going to play the other video.
Play the other video before please.
All right. Well, let's play this. Let's play this. Yeah, hold on.
This needs to happen. I played this a ton in my house.
This my shit. All the girls stomp your feet like this. Few times I've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that. 'Cause it ain't no
circle back.
Girl, ain't no
circle back.
Few times I've been around that track, so it's not just gonna happen like that. 'Cause it ain't no
circle back.
Girl, ain't no
circle back.
Whoever did that, I love you. Whoever did that, and just so you know, the the Billie Jean, Michael Jackson, COVID-19 thing. Whom those two people they need statues put up. That's some of the best stuff ever.
Some of the best stuff ever.
Some
Now,
of the best
John,
stuff ever.
John.
That is awesome. But to be real, like
How many pages over under? How many pages do you think that was?
it was 26. I think. We'll have to check the video back, but I think it was 26.
I think so.
I've been unprepared at times in my life.
So have I. Yep.
I hope I don't look that ridiculous. I really hope. That is like prototypically.
That's bad. That's bad. I don't think there's anything that can really be said.
No, I think you just need to like just play that video and like that's like
well, you know what? It's just the utter lack of preparedness is probably the biggest thing to me that is so wrong.
Yeah,
because when this reporter asked previously that same question to her.
She responded. She knew he or someone else. She already knew the question. This is the thing that baffles my mind. So if you call me and you're like, hey, did you do the show notes? I'm like, oh, what? The 3 COVID things and the Daily Mail article? Yeah. No. Like you'd be like, look,
okay.
So you read them.
Gotta get it done.
What I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
But we are doing a podcast. Why didn't you? And I'd be like, I don't know. A really good working relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm just saying, like that's what that came over. She acknowledged.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Acknowledged it.
Yeah.
And then wasn't. So it's an open-end question.
Yeah.
Then okay, there's another one. I'll give you another one just to get just another analogy, just because I'm feeling analogies right now, apparently. That would be like my boss. It's raise time, right? And I call my boss and I'm like, hey, are we gonna talk about a raise? And he'd be like, yeah, I know it's raise time. Click.
Okay.
Call him back a week later. Hey, man, are we gonna talk about it? Click.
Yeah.
Are we gonna talk? Click.
Click. Yep. Yeah.
That's how I feel like it would be. Like that would, by the way, that would never happen in my life. My company would never do anything like that.
Kind of always goes back to what I was saying before, John, a little bit about like, if you're going to say something like that initially, I'll grant you, if you're not prepared, there's nothing wrong with being unprepared. Happens all the time.
It happens all the time. I always slip up on something in a work week.
But you never, after you say, I'm going to circle back with you, you better damn well have a follow-up, because if you don't,
you might want to circle.
You're going to keep.
I think that's the thing that makes me so angry. She didn't circle back.
She didn't. No, exactly. I think she triangled back probably, or maybe she square backed. I don't know. Was Pentagon back? I don't know.
There was no back. I think she went forward. I think she circled forward.
Well, you got to keep moving forward. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, but that's also just, that's Joe Biden's press secretary. Do we expect anything less?
No,
we really don't.
We really don't.
I think that's
kind of sad, because it's like, we want her to succeed in her job.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the end of the day, we want her to give us the answers we're looking for.
Everybody deserves to have a job. She went to school for it.
Absolutely.
Obviously, she's a press secretary.
Yeah.
We do news stuff.
Yeah.
We understand what her job is.
We come prepared.
You actually have to read the article.
So
you can talk about it.
Yeah.
You have to.
I don't hold these show notes up for nothing. For our audio listeners, I'm holding up the show notes. I've got it right here.
Yes.
I don't circle back. Well, you know what, John? Maybe I need to print that out later.
Well, we total circle back last night. We were supposed to record last night. And
exactly. Here's the thing.
And to be honest,
we're following up with it right now. That's the thing.
Back because I wanted to go to bed. And I didn't want to do this. but we circled back and did
We
it.
circle back and we
No, we're
finished
fine.
what we
We're fine.
started.
We're fine. We did what we were supposed to do.
Exactly.
And see, Matt's not mad because we circled back and did it.
Yeah.
Now, if I would have been like, "Hey, let's circle back," and then didn't answer Matt's phone calls,
Yeah.
or sent
Then
Matt a
something's
text,
wrong. Then something's wrong.
Then I
Yeah.
wouldn't be circling back.
Yeah.
I'd be blowing him
I don't
off.
know what you would be doing. I think you'd be leaving. And I would be like, well, okay, I
It would
guess
be
John
one-
doesn't want to do
it
this
would be
anymore.
One noob talking.
It'd be one dude talking. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Thanks for laughing with me on that because,
oh my gosh.
wow. All right.
That's just so unbelievable. But yeah,
Obligatories.
just wonderful time again, John, doing this with you. Wrapping up episode 18, episode 19, of course, coming up next week. But before we do, we did a shameless plug with our email address. Why don't we shameless plug
Absolutely.
with all of our socials
Let's see if I don't screw this up.
before we, before we get canceled off of them? Who knows? I don't know.
So here comes down the socials. So we're Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Parler if it ever comes back. We might even be on. We're on TikTok. Recently, we're not doing anything on it. We're just there for our logo to be. That's not going to be on the screen. I just did it for funsies.
Might as well throw it on there.
So we have the amazing BitChute that seems to be out of order. If you would like to watch episode 11, please go to bitchute.com, Two Noobs Talking. It's right there. Also on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, and Rumble. Thank you, Rumble. That's where you can see our videos.
Nice.
Audio, we're everywhere.
Where?
Everybody asks me where you can find us on audio. This is a literal thing that happens to me like a lot with the
Like
podcast.
both.
Like, what are you on? And I'm like so confused. I'm like,
We're
Apple,
everywhere.
Spotify sucks, but we're on there. iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. Just type in the Google. Someone was telling me today, just type in Two Noobs Talking 215-512 podcast, and we pop up everywhere, apparently.
It's amazing. That's just amazing.
And
And
then
of course, yeah.
one last thing, we're on I don't even remember what it's called. Discord. Sorry. We're on Discord. Our show notes go on there, and we're
Nice.
going to try to figure out how to launch things off of that. Not now, but we just want to keep getting it out there. So if you got a Discord account, kind of check us out, drop us a line. We'll figure out how to do it if we get people on there, but our show notes go on there as well as
All the others, of course. With our other show notes, gosh darn it. Two
look
noobs
at
talking about WordPress.com. I'll get it out eventually. Two noobs talking about WordPress.com for all of our show notes. Links, of course, in the description below. Like us, subscribe to us, for crying out loud.
Yes,
Share our
anything.
videos, all that
Anything.
stuff.
anything.
Everything.
Our social medias, our
We
videos,
love doing this. We love to get this out. So yeah, just love
please.
it.
And it's also down on the bottom of the screen. You can click our little logo, and
Yeah.
that'll subscribe you to us if you're watching us on
That's
YouTube.
beautiful. John,
Yes,
got it?
Show us love.
Show us love. John, anything else to say?
Matt, don't go down the rabbit hole.
We definitely will try not to do that. Talk to y'all next week and take care.